Okay, so in this video, I'm going to be working on making the head for my bobblehead. You can see that I've already finished the body, and I'm picking a lump of clay that's about the size I want the head to be, but a little bit smaller. I'm going to start with a classic pinch pot. Remember to hold with your other hand. If you keep it on the table, it's going to have that big flat spot. We don't want that because we don't want a box for a head. We want a more rounded shape. Now, I'm curling in the lip. Notice how I have kind of a rounded head, but my pinch pot went a little wide at the base. So I'm going in and I'm pinching in the rim of that so that it can get tighter and have that gentle curve. So now I'm going to go in and I'm going to check to make sure it's the right size. Now I made it way too big. So what I can do is I can try to compress it with my hand. So I'm squeezing gently and making sure that my hand is covering the entire pinch pot, not just part. And then I'm going to go in with my fettling knife and cut it down. So I'm getting rid of some of that clay, and you'll notice that it got really thick. So I'm going to go back in and pinch out that rim again because I compressed it, right? I made it smaller. So I'm making that smaller, and then I'm going back in and smoothing that out by squeezing it with my hand. And that's a bit more the size I was looking for. Now, remember, you want the heads to be large if you want them to bobble completely. You don't want a head that's too small because then it won't have as much bobble to it because the spring won't be able to be as big. Okay. Now, one thing that you guys can do is you can prop up your clay on a fettling knife or on a lump of clay so that you can work on it with it standing up so that you don't have to hold on it. Now I'm making the facial features and I'm starting by just pushing my fingers in to make those eye sockets. So I'm doing this and then I'm also connecting these to where the nose is going to be. So that easy motion has now made a nose line and an eyeball line. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to work on the eyes. So what I'm going to start with is oh, actually, I believe I am working on the nose. So I'm pinching the bottom and I'm pinching the sides. And then I'm going to check it. Always check what you're working on against your figure because you don't want to be working on something and then find out it's way too big or way too small or something like that. Now I'm always going to score and slip. So I'm scoring, slipping, and then sticking that nose on there and smoothing it out. So I really liked how this nose turned out, but sometimes you realize maybe this nose doesn't work, maybe this feature doesn't work, so you might have to rework, put stuff on and then take it off again to see what exactly works. Now I'm going to make the eyes, and I'm going to start by rolling a little ball of clay, and then I'm going to score and slip it onto my character. Now, I decided once it was on there that I didn't really like that one. I wanted it to be a little bit bigger, so I made another one. I redid it. So that's just part of the working process, is trying things out and then retrying them. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make coils. So I'm going to score and slip coils that are really, really thin onto the top and the bottom of this ball of clay. And what that's going to do is it's going to create the eyeball for my sculpture. So it's going to turn that lump of clay that I just added to the surface into a fully fledged eye with eyelids and a normal eye shape. So I'm going in and I'm smoothing those out. And now you can see I'm starting to get that eye shape. Now, if you want yours to be super cartoony, you might not want a more realistic eyeball shape. So you might only do a top eyelid, or you might decide that you want it in a different way. You might want to smooth the eyeball directly into the head. It just depends on your character. So use that to your discretion. So I'm going in and now I'm defining it with my wood tool. You'll notice I use the wood tool at the end of a lot of these steps because it's a really great tool for changing and shaping a lot of the features on your clay sculptures. So I'm going in, cleaning it up, and I'm checking the nose. Make sure that when you're working on your sculptures that you're not going back in and smudging stuff that you've already worked on. That's an issue that I sometimes have, is that I will I will accidentally squish a nose after I worked on it. Okay, now what I'm doing is I'm going to do the lips of my creature, or my character. So I scored and slipped 2 coils onto the lips, 2 small coils, and then I'm smearing them in. So this might work if you're trying to make a more realistic person. If you're making a cartoon person, your lips might look a little bit different. But I'm gonna smear those lips up and then give them some definition, right? Now, this isn't a requirement. This is just an option that you guys can have. Oop. Real quick, I want to talk about making hair. So I made my head the other day, and I want to make the hair for my sculpture once this head is already leather hard. Now, I want to do that because I don't want to mess up the facial features while I'm holding it, trying to attach the hair. You can tell that I might have done it a little bit early because the eyebrow is a little messed up, so I'm going to fix that real quick. Yeah, okay. Now, there's a couple different ways you can approach hair. Now, on the left, I've already added this one. This is the single strand technique. So adding single strands of clay by maybe making a coil or cutting strips from a slab and then attaching them on in the direction that you want them to go. Now, this will give your hair a lot of dynamism, so it's going to look really dynamic. It's going to have a lot of action in it because it can curl different ways or it can point all one direction. Now, the other options are one like this, where it's one piece. I'll call this the slab method, where I'm making a slab, and then I'm using a tool to create the individual strands inside of it. So I'm carving away clay to create individual strands. Now, when I do this and I attach it, it's going to look like a hair, like a lock of hair on the side. Now, there's one other way that I like to create hair, and I call it the pinch method. So what I'm going to start off with is a piece of clay, and then I'm going to pinch and twist. Pinch and twist. Now, if you want to do spiky hair or maybe like an afro or something like that, this might be a good method, because pinching and twisting is going to give you a bumpier surface so that it looks like frizzier hair or poofier hair. Now, when you add this on, it could look like this. So notice how this hair looks kind of crazy, it looks kind of wild, but depending on how you create it, it can look different ways. So there's a lot of different ways that you can create hair, but I recommend playing with the textures and seeing which one works best for you.